Welcome back to LatiNation. I'm your host, Humberto Guida. I'm here at Palm Plaza in Imperial Beach, which is the most southern border beach you can go to. Now, around here, there's a lot of rock clubs where border bands from Tijuana and bands from San Diego play at. And these bands around the border have a few things in common, one of which is they have the whole bicultural element, fusing American sounds and even Mexican influences. But the other element is how hardcore they are. From punk rock to heavy metal to screamo, these border bands are pushing the envelope of what you can do with rock and roll. And up next, we catch up to a couple of bands who tell us why. Check this out. Sessions is presented by McDonald's. Living on the border between the US and Mexico might make for a schizophrenic cultural experience, but it also makes for good rock and roll. Take one of Tijuana's premier punk bands, Los Kung Fu Monkeys.
The band came together in Tijuana. Obviously, if we were living in LA or if we were living in Mexico City, we would get more exposure. But at the same time, we're getting all these different influences from the south, from the north, and I think that's what really helps us get our sound.
They kind of labeled us as punk ska californiano, which is punk ska California style. When we started the band, we were listening more to like punk rock and hardcore. When we started listening to Mari Mari Bostons and Voodoo Glow Skulls, that's when we said, you know what, we can make this music more melodic and more easy listening for a bigger crowd. When we went to do an interview in Reactor, which is a really big radio station in Mexico, turns out that one of the DJs turned out to be a fan, and he kind of told us straight out while we were doing the interview, like, do you guys know that you are a cold band in Mexico? And we said, like, we had no idea. Well, yeah, we've interviewed other bands, and other bands were saying that you were their main influence for playing punk or punk ska.
One of those rising border bands influenced by Los Kung Fu Monkeys is Tijuana-based Cardio Kazan.
Kung Fu Monkeys, wow, they've been a big band in our area. Like TJ, like they've made history. They made big history, like playing Warped Tour, playing lots of shows, like Europe, like traveling, doing that type of stuff. Like really gives our city something to look towards to. Kung Fu Monkeys came from this city, so maybe there's other bands that are coming out from this city.
Being so close to the border, it's kind of an advantage.
Having all these events like Warped Tour, Ozfest, all these bands that are coming out like locally and traveling here, and we get to see them, and it was like such a fresh air for us. Like this type of music would not be heard in Mexico. Like not a single band would play something like that.
We try to look up to the American bands, and I think every Mexican band tries to do that.
We all grew up in an American way. I don't know, we were so apart from like the actual Mexican cultures and all those type of events, like being in the border.
Labels just started popping up saying that they wanted to work with us. So it's great to see that after all those years of work and touring, now people are starting to acknowledge it.
There are a lot of big labels over here. Hopefully we can make enough noise so we can like make something with Cardio Kazan, to make something to the music scene over here in TJ, San Diego, Chula Vista. That'll be great for us. Like the whole point will be like fulfilled.